Well, turning now to the latest on the coronavirus and how it's affecting Arizona. We're seeing another drop in reported cases. The Arizona Department of Health Services reported 600 new cases yesterday, a recent low compared to past weeks. We've seen a decrease in cases every day in the last week. Right now, COVID-19 patients in intensive care units is at the lowest number since June 16th. Sadly, though, 4 more Arizonans have died from the virus, bringing the statewide total to 4,154. Many Arizona schools are back to learning. However, that also means that there is also a lot of concern as Governor Ducey is set to mandate, or rather suggest, that in-person should start on August the 17th. Here now is more from Jen Wall.
This gathering is being called the Green Rally, advocating for students to get back inside of Arizona classrooms. Now, this comes as Arizona's top education official says it's unlikely the state will reopen classrooms when Governor Doug Ducey's executive order expires because of coronavirus concerns. The Green Rally group on Facebook has about 5,000 members so far. Their goal to push for in-person learning options for families and educators who want to be in the classroom. Now, group organizers say they want individual education needs assessed with more choices opened to meet those needs. Tonight's meeting, headlined by Arizona Republican Senator Sylvia Allen and KTAR's Mike Broomhead. There's also a change.org petition that has more than 8,800 signatures and growing. The petition calls for no more postponement of Arizona in-person learning. It cites concerns of student mental health, lack of resources for students in need, work schedules of parents, and more, with the only online option. Now, the in-person classroom push comes as State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman has said, quote, "We should not expect or ask the majority of Arizona's students and teachers to make a return to school facilities until the spread of COVID-19 is under control." Now, tonight's rally is scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. here at the state capitol. For now, we're in Phoenix. Jen Wall, 12 News.